Hello guys, I forgot to film the whole thing, so I'm gonna walk you guys through it. So this is a 2000 CRV. We're doing the serpentine, the AC, and the power steering belt. So to do this, first things first, you have to take the power steering off. Power steering sits right here. You have to take this bolt and the bolt down here off, which are 12 millimeters. Once you get those off, you can remove the power steering out of the way. I don't like to plug it because, or take it off or unplug it because you have to air out the system. It's a pain in the ass. Might as well just save the time. Then you're gonna take off these two bolts, this one and this one. These are the side motor mounts. Take those two bolts. But before you do that, make sure you have a jack on the bottom right here. Make sure you have something in between the jack and the oil pan. You don't want to mess up the oil pan. And then after you do jack it up, there's going to be this motor mount right here. Let me see if we can. So there's going to be this motor mount right here, just sitting right there, right here. You can take the nut off on top of it, which I believe was an 18. Don't quote me on that. Can't remember. And then it bolts into here and into here. 14 millimeters. You take that off, take the whole thing off, because without taking that off, you can't take the serpentine out of or you can't put the new one in. And then we're gonna take the tensioner off right here. There's this bolt right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a long makeshift bolt. That one right there. This one. And with that one, it's a 12 millimeter. All you gotta do is just twist it off with the wrench from the top. I'll show you how to do that right now. You get yourself a little 12 millimeter and you take it off from the top. So it is going to be right under the belt, right there. That's it. Let's see if you can see it. So it's going to be this one right there. Try to focus. Focus. Anyways, it's not focusing. Yeah, right there. It's gonna be this one right there. So let's take. So to remove the AC belt, you just have to loosen this a little bit so the tensioner can move around. You see that? See how the tensioner is moving? It's just loosen this one, and then there's this bolt right here. So this is to keep it in place, and this is to tension it. I believe this is a 10. I'm not sure, but I just removed it with this, which is a 12. Just take the whole thing out and just leave it in there as far as you can. So what you want to do, see if I can zoom in there. So you want to screw this in on top until the belt is tight enough, and then bolt it in. Right there. So that's it. I'll just leave it right there. Do it when we come back. That's it. For the alternator, you're gonna take you're gonna go to the back of the engine. This is the alternator right here. You're gonna get a 1/2 inch wrench or a 14 millimeter wrench. You need 2 of them. So right behind here, this bracket, there's another bolt. If you just do it on this one, it's just gonna keep twisting. So you're gonna put the wrench back there and just leave it, because this bracket right here is gonna hold it. So you just twist it to the front of the car. So it's this bolt right here. Then the second bolt for the alternator is this one right there. You're gonna get, it's a 14 millimeter. You don't gotta take it off all the way. Just loosen it. Alternator comes forward, belt comes off. That's it. So if you're like me and you don't keep track of what belts you take off, because usually the belts have the numbers on there, which would be the best thing to do. So the AC is 332. The serpentine, it'll say it on there, serpentine belt, but just in case, is 353. And the alternator is 322. So that's it. All right, so I put all the belts on. It's really hard to record when you need both hands. So let's start with the alternator. So first things first, alternator, there's 3 rivets. There's 1, 2, 3. So this is alternator, AC, power steering. This feels nice. So you're gonna grab a long flathead or a crowbar. There's little rivets in the alternator. I don't know if you see these little rivets right here. You see where it's open? You just gotta watch out for the power lines. There's little rivets in there. Let's see if I can zoom in there. You see these little rivets right here. So you're gonna put either a flathead in one of those like this, like that, and you're gonna push forward towards the car. So you're gonna push forward towards the car gently. Remember, you already have that 14-inch or the 1/2 inch behind here. So it's gonna hold against the alternator. So have your left hand, you're pushing forward, and with your other hand, you're tightening this bolt. Just make sure it's tight, but not too tight. You want it to have a little wiggle in it, like this. And then you come back down here and tighten this bolt. And that's it. So remember, tighten the top bolt first, and then come down here and tighten this bolt. As long as it has a little play, you're good. Then we're gonna do the AC belt. The AC belt's really easy. You just put it on. You just, put it on. And then there is this little bolt right here. See if you can see it right there. You see it right here. It's a stud, actually. Right there. That one. Right behind this belt. This bolt right here, it's a stud. So this is a 7mm. So what you want to do, you want to keep twisting it until this one gets about this tight. You don't want it too tight, but you want it tight just enough. See, this is perfect. Just enough play. So you're going to tighten this one. 7mm, that one right there, this one, this little stud. Once it gets tight enough, you're gonna bolt down the nut, which is a 12mm with a wrench. You don't want it too tight. It's just a stopper, and that's it. You're done with that one. And then we're gonna do the power steering. You're gonna obviously put it back together. You're gonna put it in, put this bolt on, and put this bolt on, the bottom one. This bolt and this bolt. Just squeeze it tight enough. And then this one's really cool. So you're gonna need a 1/2. So you're gonna get yourself a 1/2 inch. You're gonna put it in there, just like so. And once it's in there, you're gonna pull towards the car, towards the front of the car. So you pull, then you're gonna have a 14, or I want to say, a 12. Actually, my bad, 12mm. And while you're pulling with your right hand, you're tightening this one with your left. So you're tightening. You want to make sure there's no play. And once it's tightened, that's good. And then you want to tighten the top one, and that's it. Then you just put everything back together. Time to put this bad boy back in. Time to put it back in. Put the 2 bolts in. Put the tire back on. Or put the 2 bolts in again. So we're going to do this right here. Put this in. Just like that. Put the washer. Remember, it's going to be this little round one with the washer. Don't forget the washer. It's very important. So once you bolt these back in, the 2 bolts, the last thing to do is put back these bolts, put the tire back on, and you're set. So that completes all the serpentine belts for today. Just got to put this cover back on with either, some have bolts, but when I bought the car it didn't have bolts. It had these little things. I guess they hold. So that's good enough. Next is going to be the axles. And basically all the suspension parts, the outer tie rod, inner tie rod, the sway bar links, and the bottom ball joint. That's pretty much all it needs, because the last owner did the top ball joint and the control arm, so we won't need to be doing that. Brakes look pretty good too, so I'll wait till these go down, then change everything out. But other than that, there's a lot of work coming in. I still have to do the oil pan gasket. I got all that stuff ordered. It's gonna be more videos about it. We got everything here, the axles, and for the first time ever, I'm gonna try to install a remote start on my own. Wish me luck. Stay tuned for more videos.